The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a country artist, singer, songwriter, began his career at 4 while with a love for singing, and paramedic in Nova Scotia. We'll find out where that's at. He's also entered the Nashville music scene in 2009 with Just Beginning featuring Bring It To Me. He's also played with Little Texas, Jason Blaine, Herschel Shanowski, and also Gord Bamford and Paul Grant and all the like and everything. And he has a deep commitment to helping others, including the writing of When Those Sirens Are Gone, and the story behind that, along with Gravity from the Only Human release, live, ladies and gentlemen, at the Plus Studios, somewhere in beautiful Nova Scotia. Country artist, singer, songwriter, began his career at 4 and a paramedic in Kentville, Nova Scotia. And where is that at? We'll find out where with the multi-talented, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Davison. Kevin, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. And hi to all your fans out there. I'll give you a little explanation of where Nova Scotia is in just a sec.
Not a problem. We'll certainly do that as well, too. And you're with Spectra Music as well, too. We forgot to mention that. And you're a country artist, singer, songwriter, began your career at 4 with love for singing. And of course, you know, we mentioned you're a paramedic, and you can tell where you're at. You entered the Nashville music scene 2009 with Just Beginning featuring Bring It To Me. You play with Little Texas, Jason Blaine, and Gord Bamford, and more. And you have a deep commitment to helping others, including writing When the Sirens Are Gone. And before getting all that from the Only Human release, tell us how you first got started. And first, you can answer the question on where the heck is Nova Scotia?
Yeah, all right, let's start with that. I guess you want to run right up the East Coast, up New York, Boston, into Maine, and then you kind of into New Brunswick, which is the province just above Nova Scotia in Canada. I'm just in a little spot. You can see it on the map. There's only about 1 million of us right in the whole entire province, so there's not many, but big names come out of Nova Scotia, like Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, and Brad Marchand, just to name a few. I got a lot of talented hockey up here in Nova Scotia. And then when my music career started, you know, I was singing since I was a little kid, about 4 years old. And my passion was being a paramedic and a firefighter. And that was something I wanted to do since I was very little. And my music career just kind of took off around somewhere around, you know, the 2000s. And I was able to get myself over to Nashville in 2009. First time I was ever there. I've been there several times since. And just fell in love with country music and what it does and what it says, and fell in love with the fans. And then I just got to write a great song with a friend of mine named Doug Fulkins. He lives on the other side of Canada. We did a Zoom call like we're doing tonight, and we threw a song together that has made an impact. And you know, the people that have heard it already, and people are going to hear it a lot more in the next little while when it gets released. But it certainly depicts, you know, sort of how our lives, you know, while we're at work and when we get home, and you know, those mental health stresses that we have to deal with. And I've been doing that job quite a long time, and I finally was able to put pen to paper and kind of explain and tell people sort of you know, what we deal with on the job and sort of what we deal with at home.
And certainly did as well too. We'll talk about the song "When the Sirens Are Gone" and inspiring about that, along with Gravity, and maybe some of the other music you have written as well too. And besides the lyrics, you've written about mental health, the stresses you go through, helping people, and everything else, caring for another, helping during critical times, rescue, and everything. What are some other lyrics you based on as well?
Well, you gotta sometimes they just come to you, and I've written quite a few songs about first responders and military. I wrote a military song called 22, where 22 active and veteran soldiers commit suicide every day. So
Oh,
I wrote a
wow.
song called 22. Yeah, and then I wrote a song called "I've Got Your Back" that I sang in Ohio last year at a show for police officers, and it also depicts what happens with police officers, and the stresses they deal with, and there's a lot of shootings, as far as police officers go, and I lost one of my friends in Canada to a shooting, and I actually sang at his regimental funeral as well. So I put a lot of my lyrics into sort of emotional things and how I feel, and hopefully with every time I put one of these songs sort of just on YouTube, or I'm sitting in my basement and playing, that it reflects, and people can sort of understand, and then maybe start talking about these things that happen. And it's because I've been a first responder for so long, I just feel like I can put these words into music and help somebody along the line. I mean, that's what it's all about.
And of course, there's a two-part question here. What was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of the career? First a paramedic, and then get into country music.
Well, I mean, I think I've always been that kind of person that helps people. So I've always, growing up, my parents always say, you help people, and you don't sit back when somebody's getting bullied. And, if somebody gets hurt, you want to help them. And if somebody falls, you help pick them up. So those things I've done my whole entire life. Now, to put those into words with music, it makes it easier for me, because I've got all that stuff still in my head, and all these things I do on a regular basis on my job. It took me a while to get those sort of out of my head and onto paper. So at times, though, at times you can certainly they can come out easy, or it takes time. And I think with some of these songs, they do take time to filter through and then to get them on paper.
And of course, it is a process as well too, and it takes time and everything. You put out quality music and everything else, and of course, you had some influence as well too in country music. Who are some of your favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up?
Well, I mean, I've always followed. I was more of a rock guy growing up. I was a Bryan Adams fan, a Chicago guy, and I just loved those types of music. And then I was a huge Beach Boys fan, and I mean, huge. Knew every song. I think I really get into singing because they had the high vocals, and I always tried to sound like them, and I worked my voice all the time. And then when I sort of went over to the music scene, I was more of a Garth Brooks kind of guy. So Garth Brooks was sort of my idol. And my gosh, he came to Halifax, Nova Scotia, into our city, played 4 shows. I got to go to a show. A friend of mine got me some tickets, and just to see his performance and how happy he was on stage and how he presented himself on stage just made me go, man, that's kind of the life I'd like to have. I want to help people, but I also want to see people smile. So when I see guys like Garth Brooks up there, I want to be like that. And I want to, and when I do play live shows, that's how I do it. I want to be like that. I want to make people smile. I want to give them a show. That's what they're paying to see me for.
And you're making me smile right away too. I mean, you got a thing about it as well too, and you also play with Little Texas, Jason Blaine, and Gore Banford, and more. And you got on stage yourself with Only Human. Talk more about that with the amazing country artist, singer, songwriter from Nova Scotia from Spectra Music, Kevin Davison. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, quality websites that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner's show. Get 20% off your first product. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. In Evil 11 Age Wars by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forge Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on 40 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Odyssey, Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and also heard on worldwide on Radio Public, Geo7, and more as well, too. And follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube. Make sure you take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We hear a country artist, singer, songwriter from Nova Scotia in a town called Kentville with a lot of hockey players in there. Kevin Davison from Spectra Music here on the Mike Wagner Show. And I was going to ask you something about hockey. You went to Nashville in 2009. Now, what are your thoughts on Nashville Predators? Did you get hooked on the Predators, by the way? What are your thoughts on them, first of all?
Well, you know what? I went to. I have a crazy story, but it's a really long story, so I won't go into the whole thing. But the first time I ever got to go to a Predators game, I was at my studio, and I was late for the game, so I burned to the rink in a taxi, and they let me out, and I bought a ticket from a scalper. The game had already started, and told me it was a great seat. So I said, "Just give it to me. I'll give you $30 for it." He said, "That's $100-some ticket." I said, "Listen, the game's already started." I got the ticket. I went upstairs, and I was sitting in a skybox, and I was having food up there, and I couldn't believe it was a skybox ticket. So afterwards, I got to I went over to the bar, and one of the referees is from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and I never met him, but I know him, and I started to have conversation with them. Long story short, I spent the evening with the referees and a bunch of Nashville Predators, and had drinks all night at the down on Broadway at the stage, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever done in my life. You know, something I never expected, and that was my first game. So I like the Predators. I've gone to several games since in the last few years when I go. So that's my story.
Oh, that's amazing. I think I'm ready to go down there, to be honest with you. I'm going to have to call and get some tickets right now as we speak. So I'm doing this, got multitask somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. And you also play with Little Texas. You also play with Jason Blaine and Crystal Shawanda, and also Gord Manford and Paul Grant as well, too. And, tell us about that. Little Texas is really good, too.
Yeah, Little Texas came up. It was a festival up in New Brunswick, just north of us, and the next province up. And I got a chance to open for those guys, and got a chance to meet them and sort of pick their brain a little bit about music. So that was such a great experience. The next year, Dr. Hook was there, so we got to open for Dr. Hook.
Nice.
And then all these other Canadian artists, become friends with a lot of them. Aaron Prichette, for one. These great names that are doing so well in music, and I get to play some of these big festivals with some of these big names like Eric Church and a bunch of Americans, Kenny Chesney, and a few of them that were here playing festivals. That some of us up and coming artists get to play some of the secondary stages, and then we kind of get to hang backstage when all these bigwigs come. So that's a lot of fun, and there's nothing better than for artists to get on stage and to get backstage with some of these people that have really succeeded in music. So,
and certainly did as well too. And you made your point as well too that you had Just the Beginning featuring "Bring It to Me." That's one of your first ones as well.
Yeah, "Bring It Here to Me" was one of my first releases that I've ever released to radio. So it's a great song. I remember one of my radio friends that added it. He said it was his favorite song, one of his absolutely favorite songs. And I know he still spins it on his radio station an hour from here. And that album was just, when I listened to it, I still couldn't believe that they threw that album together just that professionally and that perfect. And a couple of my songs did pretty good with that on that album. Only You was one of them, and that made it on the charts. So it was it was really great to have that experience and record that type of music.
Mm-hmm. And you also have Here as well, too, and you're featuring Falling in Love Again, Love Can Make You Cry, and This Little Boy and more. And you can tell us more about that and what inspired to write those as well.
Yeah, so that song, or that album, I kind of dedicated to my son. It's called Here. My son was born profoundly deaf. He's 18 now. He's got cochlear implants. He's in college. He's was an awesome athlete in high school, and he really sort of defied the odds. And so when I put that album on, I dedicated to him. And a particular song that I wrote was This Little Boy who was suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, and his parents were good friends of mine. So one of the first songs I've ever written actually was that song, This Little Boy, and it was certainly dedicated to them. And once I recorded it, the little boy actually lost his dad, who was a friend of mine, to cancer. So it was the whole situation was just sad. But and again, it was the first time I really got to sit and put pen to paper and put something down. And he's still around today, and every once in a while I'll get a message from him and just checking in. And his name's Max, and that was the song I wrote for him, one of my first ones.
Oh, that's certainly amazing. Now, how much is he into hockey? I was just curious about that one.
I think pretty much everybody in Nova Scotia is into hockey. Very few aren't.
Well, we just want to make sure on that one. So Sydney, I'm sure, will get to his head as well too. And of course, if there's some other music you want to talk about, feel free as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping the whole album, Spectra Music Group, I got involved with those guys, and they reached out a couple times, and I finally got in contact with Spectra, and we had a great conversation, and we threw some things back and forth, and their offer was amazing. The deal that I got with them, and I know they're working super hard to get this album released in the next week or so. And the pre-sales are right now for When Those Sirens Are Gone, and just hoping that big things happen, and get back into the States and do some more touring and some more playing, and get the song on as many places as we can get. Sirius XM and all these as many social platforms we can get them on. So that's sort of where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. And of course, speaking of the song When Those Sirens Are Gone, we'll play that in the end of the audio interview with the Mike Wagner Show, as well as Gravity. We'll talk about those from Only Human with Kevin Davison. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by SoundWeb Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's They Are Missing. We'll be back with country singer songwriter from Nova Scotia, Kevin Davison, after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People, based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with country artist, singer, songwriter from Kentville, Nova Scotia, Kevin Davison from Spectra Music here on the Mike Wagner Show. And he's got the album out called Only Human. And you also wrote the song about When Those Sirens Are Gone, a deep commitment to helping others. And tell us a bit more about that song and more of the story about what inspired the write. I mean, we got to the beginning of it, maybe just a bit more about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I was out at the Country Music Awards out in Edmonton that year, and sort of just connected with a guy that him and I knew each other a little bit, became pretty close friends, and I just said to him while we were in Edmonton, I said I'd like to get together and write something about my career, and he said, yeah, we can do it. He said, as soon as you get home, let's Zoom next week, and we Zoomed on this call, and he goes, and I said, this is what we should do. I said, I want you to be an interviewer. You be a somebody that just wants to know about my job, wants to know about my family, wants to know about my career, and how I go through a shift. And he said, okay, I'll do that. And he said, so what how do you start it? And what happens when you go to work? I said, well, I don't know. We're always worried about storms, and people getting in accidents or house fires, and so on a dark and stormy night was sort of the first line. A nor'easter's rolling in, because we get nor'easters up here in Nova Scotia.
Mm-hmm.
So the more he asked me questions, the more I was answering. He said, so how long do you go to work? I said, well, about 12 hours. He said, okay, it's a long 12 hours. And what else happens? I said, well, sometimes the friggin' power goes out. He's like, oh yeah, so the power's out again. So there's our first 4 lines already written. So that's how it went. And he said, okay, well, now what happens when you go on your call? Well, then we wrote about the call. Once we got that sort of section done, we went into the next one, and it was about, what happens when you get home? Well, you try to leave those tragedies behind you. You try to leave that stuff at work, but it's awful hard as first responders to leave that stuff home, or to leave that stuff at work and not to bring it home. And we all bring it home. We don't mean to bring it home, but
I'm guilty of it.
For the beach. Yeah, exactly. So that was how we inspired. That's how I wanted to do it. And it inspired me. And when I put it out on social media, and it exploded on social media into this massive, thing with everybody wanting to know what was going on with first responders and why there was mental health challenges, and it sort of made a bit of an impact. And that's why we had to get over to Nashville to get it recorded.
Wow, that is a really unique way of writing a song. That how do you start your work, what you do at work, end of work? I never thought of that. But I'm about to write a song about what I do and put it on paper. You're giving me some great ideas here.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I say, I've never written a song like that either. And I don't profess to be a great songwriter. I'm a performer, and that's my forte. There's really good songwriters out there, but when the way we did that, and the way where we depicted my life, within a 24-hour period, and put it into a song, it was pretty simple, and it didn't take very long to write it. And then suddenly we had something that was sort of a miracle, right?
Mm-hmm. And of course, you wrote about some mental health challenges and everything like that. And of course, it's been talked about PTSD, suicide, and stress, and everything that's going on. And what are some other mental health issues that you discussed that really nobody talks about, or what has not been brought up?
Yeah, and that's a great question. The problem with our job is that there's still, as much as we've gone, past what we, past the stigma, there still is stigma. There's always going to be a stigma around mental health, because we are always taught that mental health, if you had something going on, you just had to suck it up, push it down, go to your next call. Well, when that bucket starts to fill up and you hit the top and start spilling over, then that's not a good thing. So you want to start emptying that bucket a little bit, right? So there's lots of things. PTSD is the biggest one, or PTSIs, injuries, because there's actually injuries to the brain. There's so much trauma you see constantly that it just builds up. There's anxieties, people can get into addictions and things like that because of the mental health and the trauma and that injury to the brain. And you can have so much trauma in your brain that you could have a CT scan and you can see where the damage has occurred because of what you've seen over the years of accumulating calls. So It's something it's important to talk about. I know there's the United States especially, they're big on their first responders there and their military, and they like to take care of them, and hopefully this song's going to do that. It's going to get into these places where people need to hear it, because I needed to write it, I needed to hear it, I still need to listen to it, and I know there's others out there that when they listen to it, it helps them, and it's going to help them mentally.
And plus, there's another song, Gravity, as well, too. Play at the end of the audio interview, and tell us more about that song. What inspired you to write Gravity?
Well, that was more of a song written by one of the guys that I write with, Doug, who wrote "When the Sirens Are Gone." He really put pen to paper on that song, and I liked the song because when he was writing it, I was kind of like, man, this song could actually be something that that I could take to when I'm playing at a bar and have all the ladies loving it, because it's sort of that type of song. So I really wanted to record that. I can't really take too much of the ownership of that, because Doug put that together wholeheartedly, and he was gracious enough to let me take that song and put it on that album. So the song's an amazing song. We didn't record it the way he really wanted it recorded, so I'm sorry about that, Doug. It was definitely different the way it was that he had done it. I guess when I take a song and I kind of put my own spin to it, but it worked out really well. It's a great song, and everybody that I let listen to Gravity and sort of the way that we put the spin on it, they loved it. And that I know that Doug has accepted that's the way we did it. It may not be the way that he would have recorded it, but it's the way we did it, and it was really good, really good.
And did a great job as well, too. Got to listen to it. It's a fantastic song. Yeah. And also, if there's other songs you want to talk about from Only Human, you can talk about some other songs what inspired you to write them.
Yeah. There's one on there. There's one on there that I know the Spectra Music Group really likes it. And it's a song that Bruce Springsteen actually sang, When You Need Me. And I sang it at my wedding. It's just one of those songs that I did a different mix. I spun it a different way when we were in the studio recording it. They did it in almost an old country style sound. So if that old country style song ever comes back, we're probably going to hit the number one, because it sounds just like something that maybe you could hear with a Merle Haggard tune or George Jones song.
Yeah, just like the classics. I love them. Yeah,
so if you have a chance to listen to When You Need Me, you'll hear some different instruments on there that are back in the later years, and it sounds really good. But that album itself was produced and directed by Scott Harter down in Nashville, and he used to tour, and he's so into music, and he's such a great producer, and I'm definitely going to use him again when I'm down there recording. So shout out to Scott too, and he's certainly going to he wants to push the album, push some of these songs as well throughout the US now that we got a release coming up. And so we got some great songs in there. Wonder Woman is another fabulous song. I'm a Mess. I wrote I'm a Mess, and it was just about, I saw somebody online, a friend of mine, that had this woman just left him, and he said, I'm a mess. That's all he put on his Facebook post. And I was like, oh my God. And I just went and wrote it all down and wrote the song I'm a Mess. That has done very well at a lot of my shows. So it's a great album. I can't wait for people to listen to it.
That certainly is a good idea. Maybe write a song up a Facebook post. I'm liking it. You got some really creative ideas, Kevin. I'm loving this. So. And where can we find all your music at, including Only Human, When the Sirens Are Gone, and more? Where can we find your music at, Kevin?
It's going to be come Friday. It's going to be all over March 1st. It's going to be all over the place. You'll find it on Spotify. It's on Apple Music right now. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon. Apple Music, because like I say, it's going to be on every social site that you can find. Jump on YouTube, and it's going to be on everything that you just have to punch it in. Only Human, Kevin Davison, and you're going to find it everywhere and anywhere. And certainly get your copies of it. And we're so excited, and I know Spectra is really excited to get this going.
It certainly is amazing. And what's your website, and how can people reach you?
KevinDavisonMusic.com. So it's KevinDavison music.
kevindavison.com. You can go on there. You can get merchandise. You can check where my shows are going to be. All the information. If there's any updates, it's going to be right on there. And you can contact our team just by going on, hitting the contact button, and somebody from the Kevin Davison team will certainly reach out. And if, for shows or merch or whatever you need.
That sounds great. We'll certainly do that. Once again, with the amazing country artist, singer, songwriter from Kentville, Nova Scotia, Kevin Davison from Spectra Music Group here on the Mike Wagner Show with Only Human and just a few more things. What else can we expect in 2024 and beyond, Kevin?
Well, my goal will be to head back to Nashville this summer. I have been talking to my producer about some songs. I was playing in Nashville. I was invited to play CMA Fest 2018. And then, of course, when things started happening with COVID, I was unable to travel. Of course, nobody was able to travel. So that kind of went to the wayside. And I started some songs while I was there, and they're kind of in limbo. So we want to get those finished. But 2024 is looking promising for a lot more recordings. I got a Christmas song I'm going to record here quite soon that I wrote, and it's a great little tune. My daughter listened to it today, and she loves it. She was bopping and singing it going up to the car. So if she likes the song, then it's going to do well. So that's kind of my goal: get back to Nashville, get back on the playing train. When I get back there, and I played a couple shows at Tootsie's and Honky Tonk Central, and it was just an amazing time. So that's my goal for 2024 is to get some more music. It's, as much as I can, get it out there.
And we'll certainly check it out as well too, and keep us up to date on that. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Well, I think I gotta give my kids a lot of credit. I mean, I've always wanted to do music, and there's a lot of times where I was just kind of felt like it's just time to give up. But they've always inspired me to always keep going. And prior to that, I've always looked back at just the artists that I grew up and watched. And when I started watching Garth Brooks and things he did, he was kind of why I steered the way I did. And there's a reason why I put the shows on like Garth Brooks does, is because he's the real deal. Yeah, he makes millions and millions of dollars, but he's genuine, and he's on stage and he's smiling and he wants people to have a good time, and he's acknowledging the fans. If there's a sign, he's acknowledging them. If there's somebody that is asking for something, he tries to give them stuff. Like that's the person that I've really just watched his career, and it influenced me just to be, a better person, a better musician.
That is a really good point. I like that. Hats off to Garth as well. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
As far as music goes,
You can be anything in general.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always told my kids, even when they were born and they were little kids and they were growing up, you always follow your dream. I quit my job and I was still working as a paramedic, but I quit my full-time job so I could pursue my music. And so many people told me that I was crazy, and people were just like, "Oh, that guy's he's nuts. Why would you ever do that? You're never going to get anywhere in music." But if you don't take a chance in life, you're never going to know what your potential is. So I did it, and I want them to do that, and I want them to go, you know what? If I want to do something, then I'm going to do it. And I think that's an important thing, because so many people kick themselves in the rear end, down the road, saying, I think I should have done that because I think I was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So you never want to look back and regret, right?
Right. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. I know how that goes. So yeah, that's a really good point indeed. We're here with country artist, singer, songwriter from Spectra Music, Kevin Davison, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Kevin, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
I just want to say thank you so much, Mike, for having me on your show. I hope to talk to you again soon once we get the release out there, buddy. But I very much appreciate this. And, jump on to kevindavison.com. You'll find all the information of where you can find the music, where you can get some merchandise. You can get this nice hat, this little Katie hat here that I got on my head, selling those, and some shirts, CDs, pictures, whatever you need. kevindavisonmusic.com is a place to go. If you need to get a hold of us or anybody from the team, shoot us a message.
We will certainly do so. Once again, Kevin, and very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have it back. We wish you all the best. And Kevin, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you, Mike.
was a dark and stormy night, nor'easter rolling in. It's a long 12 hours, the power's out again. I pray for inner strength and that we don't lose no lives. Just another day in the first responders' eyes. Half a cup of coffee's gone, the first run comes in. A car slid off the road, there's a family trapped within. My heart beats like a hammer, I can barely catch my breath. I'm thinking the worst and hoping for the best. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. Now my shift is finally over, I gotta deal with what's mine and try to find a way to leave those tragedies behind. So I hug my 2 children, I kiss on my wife. Just another day in the first responder's life. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. Flashing lights fill the air, broken bodies everywhere. Another bad dream is stealing my sleep. 'Cause we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. And it's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this hurting when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone, it keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. You keep looking over, throwing those glances over your shoulder. I can't help but stare right back. Smile like the sunrise, sipping on a pretty drink, moving to the music, rocking those tight jeans, making my heart beat fast. Whoa, don't know what to say. Way. You're pulling me like gravity, an apple falling from a tree. You're looking so sweet, I can't stop myself from smiling right back at you and thinking about gravity. Hey there, girl, what you been drinking? It looks a little low. Maybe you're needing someone to buy you another round. Just a country boy who knows what he likes. Never seen a woman looking so fine. My world's turned upside down. Whoa, don't know what to say. So sweet, I can't stop myself from smiling right back at you and thinking about my next move. Gotta find a way to get you by yourself. 'Cause seriously, you're pulling me like gravity. You're the moon and I'm the high tide, drawing me with the look in your eyes. Newton's law never felt so right. You're pulling me like gravity, an apple falling from a tree. You're looking so sweet, I can't stop myself from smiling right back at you and thinking about my next move. Gotta find a way to get you by yourself. Girl, seriously, you're pulling me like gravity.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host, and I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written, it's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing, and powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms, and of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.